Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. So I realized that I've been to many of the blue zones. Do you know what the blue zones are? You may have already seen the documentary on Netflix, but it's areas that were discovered by Dan Buettner and Skamp. And what they realized was that these areas around the world had the highest concentration of people over 100 years old. And that when they looked at these different areas, that they were actually living with certain habits in common, which I find fascinating. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of naysayers that came and were very skeptical about their research, but I think they battled them back. And I actually heard a funny rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, but that the reason why these are called blue zones, not because they have something blue in common, but because on the map they used a blue pen ink to circle those areas where they found the most 100-year-olds. Now, I have no idea if that's true. That's what I heard. I thought it was pretty cool. The other thing that grabbed my attention was that a comedian out of Canada years ago did a little mini video on the 9 habits of these 100-year-olds that they found in these different areas. And I thought, oh, this is going to be funny, like a comedian's doing a take on this. But it wasn't funny. It was actually a really good summary. So I want to shout out Judy Crone from Canada for putting together that little summary video. So before I get started, I have to share a joke with you because there isn't that much humor about the blue zone. So I think it's ripe for doing a comedy routine about it because now it's just so common. So I'm going to do this joke and then I'm going to dig in and tell you where they are and what were the 9 habits. And I think that we could really adopt them for our cancer journey, not only while we're going through cancer treatment, but for survivorship. And it can't hurt, right? But I think there are real lessons that we can pick up from these people who have incredible longevity and happiness too. They're not just older, miserable people. They actually have fulfilling, gratifying, and fun lives even to the end. So here's my joke, and I didn't write it. I just found it online with no attribution. A man asks his doctor, "Do you think I'll live to be 100?" And the doctor asks the man, "Well, that depends. Do you drink?" "Oh, no, sir. I abstain from all alcohol, soda too. I just drink plenty of fresh water." "Do you smoke?" said the doctor. "No, sir, never smoked in my life, and I stay away from any place with secondhand smoke." "Do you eat a lot of sugary and greasy foods?" asked the doctor. "No, sir. I carefully watch my diet and caloric intake, and I'm sure to eat plenty of vegetables." "Do you go to parties? Stay up late? Are you usually sexually promiscuous?" "Not at all. Early to bed, early to rise, and abstinence is cake." The doctor raises his eyebrow at the man. "So why exactly do you want to live to be 100? I thought that was really cute in light of the conversation today. So back to the blue zones. Let's just identify. Can you name them? Do you know what the 5 blue zones are? Okay. In the U.S., Loma Linda, California, Okinawa, Japan, Ikaria, Greece, Sardinia, Italy, Cape Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. Now, I've been to 4 of the 5, and Costa Rica's on my bucket list, but I find it interesting that I've been to 4 of the 5. I actually picked up tips living in some of those places, but also just visiting them for an extended amount of time over my whole lifetime. I did pick up tips. So I am interested in sharing these with you too. So let's go through the 9 steps that are identified. One is to move naturally. These residents really just move naturally. They didn't have gym memberships necessarily. They didn't have set exercise. They just had natural movement baked into their day. And one that I thought was the most interesting was in Okinawa. Most people of this age that survived would be sitting on the floor. So they had to get up 30 to 40 times a day. That's natural movement. Can you imagine 100 or 100 and plus years of age getting up and down off the floor? That might take the whole day, just getting up and down off the floor. Other people gardened for an hour or even more. I can't garden. I mean, I would have to night garden because I can't be in the sun. I'm so sun sensitive. But just think about it. Do you have that much natural movement in a day? And I can just tell you from going through all this cancer treatment that it is sedentary. You're sitting in a chemo chair, you're waiting in a waiting room for scans, for doctor's appointments. So we have to consciously start moving more. Now, in Italy, they had shepherds that were living this long. So they would be walking their flock. I don't have a flock in New York, so that one doesn't work for me. But opting to walk instead of take the subway or instead of driving, that could be a way to get a lot more movement. Another one that they had was purpose. They had a purpose. They don't have retirement homes. I think that's incredible. There aren't retirement homes in these communities. And there was an interesting study that Judy Kroon presented in her little video that said there was a study that said that a large majority of people die in their first year of retirement. And is that because they feel that so much of their identity was tied to the purpose of their work? It was a pretty big statistic. So I thought that was incredible. And in Okinawa, they call this ikigai, and that's a reason for being. It's your reason for getting out of bed. I wanted to do a whole episode on that because I think it's really important to identify, especially once you've been diagnosed with cancer. What's your purpose for staying here? What are you fighting for to stay here? I loved that once a day, these people who are 100 plus sat down and enjoyed a glass of red wine. Now, I don't know if you drink red wine, if you're allowed to with the medications you're on, but that was a common theme that they just sat and had a glass of wine. And there are antioxidants. Jackie Bryan, our certified nutrition specialist who has almost 70 episodes, she talks about red wine and how it can be beneficial. But again, you have to talk to your medical team if that's a good idea for you. Diet. Wow. A lot of the things that Jackie recommends on the episodes of Beating Cancer Daily are in this common theme of diet. So very plant-based, whole grains, beans, greens, vegetables, and tubers like sweet potatoes. We talk about this a lot on the podcast. And if you want to really get a big encyclopedic knowledge about nutrition, definitely search in Beating Cancer Daily Expert. You'll identify Jackie's many episodes and just start listening to them because we really talk about this kind of a diet here. I love this one tremendously. Downshift. Take breaks in the day. And breaks could be a pause between activity. We talk about that a lot on Beating Cancer Daily. It could be to meditate, to nap. But one of the ones they found a lot of was laughing, that they shared a laugh, either with themselves or with another person. And on this podcast, we talk a lot about the power of laughter, humor, and play. So if you need more ideas of how to get that into your life, just look back through the hundreds of Beating Cancer Daily episodes. The 80% rule. Now, we talk about that a lot, but they are talking about it in terms of only eat till you're 80% full. Only eat till you're 80% full. I just came from a big brunch. I think I'm 80% over full. Like I went past 100% full to way over full. But what they're saying is that this is a great rule that they found among these very aged but well-living people in these different zones. And in Okinawa, they call it harahachibu. And this is only eating until you're 80% full. It's something that we really don't do in America at all. Community and family. As I said, there are no retirement homes, but the elderly are considered to be wise. These elders are sought after for wisdom. They're appreciated. They're engaged in the family. And I think that's a whole nother way to live. I see so much loneliness and isolation among the elderly, particularly in the United States. And another one, and this is so important, friends. Friends. So not only are you appreciated by the community and by your family, but that you have friends. That is valued. Having these friendships and the social time is really part of these 5 different communities. And I love this last one because we debate it all the time. Spirituality and faith. A common theme was that in these areas, faith is really important. And a study was done that showed that people who had faith and a spiritual practice lived 4 to 14 years longer. Now, that's a study, and I'm not proselytizing, but I know that being faith-based was so important in my survival from stage 4 cancer for these decades now. And what they're showing is that in these blue zones where they have such longevity, this is part of the culture. This is part of the practice of their lives. So I found this a really beautiful breakdown of how people really improved their health, their wellness, and had great quality of life as they aged. So why can't we borrow a play or 9 plays from the playbook of these zones from all over the world? I hope you try them. I really hope you try them. I'm going to restate them quickly one more time in case you just wanted to write them down. Move naturally. Purpose. What are you getting out of bed for? Downshift. Take breaks. Enjoy a glass of red wine. Consume more plant-based food. Only eat till you're 80% full. Community, family. Really be part of a larger group. Have friends. Socialize. Really put yourself out there to spend time with other people and develop these relationships, cultivate these friendships, make time for it. And then lastly, spiritual or religious experiences, taking the time to really have the spiritual or religious or faith base. Okay, can't wait to hear which ones you're doing. Which ones are hard for you? You don't have to tackle them all in a day. Remember Jackie's episode on habit stacking? You can just start slowly and build them into your daily routine. I love this joke, and you may have heard it before. I didn't write it, but I think it's appropriate for this episode. An old woman was walking along the street when she heard a voice telling her, "You will live to be over 100." She looked around, but no one else seemed to have heard the voice. Then she heard it again. "You will live to be over 100." And she looked around again, and no one else seemed to have heard anything. Convinced that it was the Lord telling her this, she made an appointment with a plastic surgeon and signed up for a facelift, a tummy tuck, liposuction, breast implants, and a nose job, all to be done simultaneously. Figuring since the Lord told her she would live to be 100, she better do something to make herself look better. After healing from all the operations and looking fabulous, she decided to go shopping. While crossing the street, she was hit by a bus and killed instantly. When she got to heaven, she asked the Lord, "Why did I die? You told me I was going to live to be more than 100." God looked at her and replied, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you." That's an old classic. Anyway, I cannot wait to hear how this goes for you. So I want you not to get all that work done, okay? But I do want you to start practicing these different gifts that they discovered from the Blue Zones. And I want you to go to comedycures.org and tell me which ones are hard for you, which ones are easy for you. You can write them to me through the contact menu or go to the podcast section and just leave me a message. Do you have other tips, other longevity tips that aren't included? I would love to know that. And have you been to any of the Blue Zones? And did you learn any of these lessons while you were there? This is such an incredible topic. And if you haven't seen the documentary on Netflix, I hope that you enjoy it. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you loved today's episode, then tell the world. Why? Because Beating Cancer Daily is a listener and donor supported experience. So the more people you tell and the more people that join us, the more robust and interesting programs our nonprofit, the Comedy Cures Foundation, can bring to you throughout the year. So if you have some extra change, I'd love you to go to comedycures.org and make a donation today of whatever level is comfortable for you. And it will be tax deductible to the extent allowed by law, because Comedy Cures is a nonprofit 501c3 organization founded from my chemo chair, April 1999, and we've been going strong ever since. So please consider making a donation today and help our community and this podcast thrive. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening. See you guys tomorrow.